Megan's actually going pound town on reading.
Yeah.
You're averaging, I don't even know, like a book and a half a week.
I feel
it's
like
crazy right now.
Like when I stopped playing, I like learned how to read again. I was like, oh, I got to do something with this time. This is wild. So I feel like I knew how to read before, but I'm learning how to like read books, not just articles.
Not just scouting reports. Welcome back, everybody. Man, it's been a long time since we've been in the studio. We have been on the road. As you guys can tell, we had all of our live shows, so we've been away. Some for work, some for fun, which has been great. But we're back now, back in studio, back on a schedule. It's nice to be home on a schedule.
Oh, amazing.
We're eating cleaner. We're working out. We're back in hot yoga.
Yeah.
So was the tutor.
Oh.
T-O-O-T. Toot. He farted again, y'all.
He farted again, you guys.
He farted again. I can't even believe it. I can't believe we aren't into him, and I can't believe he farted again.
It's wild. I mean, I could. Honestly, it's like when people tell you who they are, you should believe them. But here we are.
Words to live by.
Like Sue said, we traveled, obviously work, some of the pods, but also for fun. And I just want to say a huge congrats to my twin sister, Rach. She got engaged to her partner, Mary, a.k.a. Marty, a.k.a. Gary. We are so happy for you both. We were there. You guys might have seen the photos on social, but we're so happy for them. And it was so cute. And we had a lovely weekend in Mexico, which prompted me to have to go to customs, obviously, because we came back to New York. And normally, okay, this is what's been happening.
Megan doesn't have global entry.
It's ridiculous.
Is what's happening.
I know.
It's the amount that we travel, it's insane.
But I've been skirting by because I have Mobile Passport, which is like this app. I don't know why everybody doesn't have it. It's like not as fast as global entry ever, but usually it's just like, it's fast enough where I feel like it's like good enough where I'm like, I don't want to go through the hassle of global entry. Well, the line was closed down. They had 2 people working, probably fucking blame Doge for that. And it was so frustrating. And I, in the line, filled out my global entry application, and I have my meeting coming or interview coming up soon. So it was the final straw, and I was waiting there. It took like an hour. It was so annoying. So
I feel like I'm the big winner in this whole scenario.
You are. We also won a Webby Award.
We did.
Sue,
we won a Webby Award.
For Best Sports Podcast. Yay.
Very exciting.
Us.
Yay us.
That was fun.
Like I said, we've been back on a schedule, back in the kitchen. Megan, you've been whipping.
Yeah, I was whipping.
You guys. She's spatchcocked.
I barbecued a spatchcock chicken. The day I did it was the day I learned what spatchcock chicken was. It came already spatchcocked, and I barbecued it.
You wouldn't be good at the spatchcock.
It's like you have to cut the backbone or breastbone out. I don't know. It was a little bit charred. A little bit charred up. A lot of it charred up. It was the barbecue just gets to barbecuing up there, and
it was delicious. It was so juicy. Yeah, really. I'm not just saying that.
No, it really was good. Shout out to Alicia, who is basically the best chef in America. Our good friend. She gave me like all the deets and a huge like text, and I just literally followed it to the T. So thanks, Alicia. But yeah, we're whipping, we're cooking, we're doing things. We also watched Dying for Sex.
Everyone go watch it immediately.
Oh my God. We watched it all in one sitting. I would recommend actually doing that, or a couple of sittings, like binge it.
Yeah. I liked binge it, but I could see how it could be a lot.
Binge it. Don't watch it over 8 weeks. Like binge it.
Yeah. But you could watch it in like 3 episodes here, 4 episodes there. We watched it in its entirety. It's
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams did an unbelievable job. It was so good. We're just like randomly bringing up in this.
We just wanted to get it in. Yeah, we wanted to get it in.
We had to get it in. Just trust us on this one. It's amazing. Also, we are back to our normal segments this week. We have a fresh edition of Are You a Megan or Are You a Sue? Plus, the announcement you have all been waiting for. Our book club pick is here. Our book club is starting. Touch More Book Club, powered by Athena Books. And we are going to talk with the authors of our first pick, Abby Wambach, Glennon Doyle, and Amanda Doyle. I'm so excited for this. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's get into it.
The check-in, y'all. You already know what it is. The WNBA.
Sports!
Topic 1. The WNBA is back, basically. WNBA preseason is kicking off this weekend. Wings and the Aces will kick things off this Friday night. Sue, what stands out to you as things kick off for this preseason?
I am so thrilled that the WNBA announced that the preseason games are going to be on TV.
Pumped.
It is. I'm just so excited because it sucks to have to miss those. You want to see, players that are coming back, starters. You want to see rookies. You want to see players fighting for roster spots. You want to see it all. And you don't always get to see it because the preseason games haven't been on TV. So 14 of the 15 preseason games will be on League Pass. Those are free for everybody. There's one game that's not on League Pass, but it is on ESPN. So that's a win. 4 of those games will be on national television. I already mentioned wanting to see the different types of players, right? Vets, rookies, newcomers, whatever it is. Tune in early to those games. Just like a little vet move here. Tune in early if you want to see the starters, and then tune in late if you want to see other players.
Yeah.
Usually starters don't play a full game, but regardless, I'm very excited about that. And this all started because last year they did put one game on League Pass. Mm-hmm. But if you remember, a fan at the Minnesota-Chicago game, a Minnesota-Chicago preseason game, put it on social media, live streamed it, and it had 2 million viewers. And I gotta think that is what started all this. So shout out to them. That was amazing.
Shout out to that fan.
Some of the games that I'm gonna be checking out, this is not rocket science. We all want to see Paige. Paige and Dallas play on Friday. That game's on ION, 7 p.m. Eastern. Actually, I thought one of Paige's early kind of takes on her WNBA experience was really interesting. She was asked about the difference between college and the pros by reporter Dorothy Gentry. Let's take a listen.
What's the biggest difference from college to the pros that you see?
Honestly, screens I got hit by, that would be the first, wow, okay, this is different. And obviously the floor is a little shrinked. You got defensive 3 seconds in the lane, offensive 3 seconds in the lane, so that's a little bit different. And then the pace and obviously the physicality, something like that.
You had an immediate reaction to Paige talking about getting hit by WNBA screens. What was it?
Well, I can relate.
Because of the one time you practiced?
Yeah. Nobody was communicating with me on the defensive end. Talk about not being on a string. All of a sudden,
it's other people's fault.
Yeah, all I know is I turn around, whap, right into Stewie's sternum.
And Stewie's not even, I bet Stewie doesn't even set the meanest screen.
I bet she doesn't. I could pop a vertebrae getting in one of these WNBA screens. Yeah. You know what I'm most excited for Paige's first game? Braidless Paige. Let that hairline live, girl. I'm very excited for that. Is she going to wear a low? Is it going to be a middle part and a low?
She's been rocking the low in training camp.
I like that.
TBD. We'll see.
I like that.
I think she just goes to a straight up ponytail.
Her hair's thick though, so the bun on the low is tough. That thing falls out.
I think you got to go ponytail.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got to go ponytail.
I'm excited for that.
But I did think, her describing her early training camp days was interesting because she, of course, mentions the physicality. And that's what we're all going to be having our eye on. That's what every rookie has to adjust to. But it was pretty funny to hear her talk about screens. There's some bigger girls in this league. Those screens hurt. I literally have vertebrae out. You said it. You joked about it. I literally C3 is out permanently because of getting blindsided.
What does he say?
Screens.
I got a rib out. Yeah. This is what I hear 9 times a year. I got a rib out.
So other teams that are playing this Friday, Chicago plays the Brazilian national team at 9 p.m. on ION. And then we move to Saturday. We can see the Fever take on DC. That one is on NBA TV. And then Sunday, the Fever's on a back-to-back. Tough. So you know what that means. Be strategic with your watching on who's going to be playing. They also take Brazil on, and that game is on ESPN. The Storm also play on Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern versus Connecticut, but no Malunga yet. She hasn't reported to camp yet, so keeping our eyes on that.
Où es toi, Malunga, because on est là.
Je ne sais quoi.
On est là in Seattle.
Je ne sais quoi.
Come on.
Je ne sais quoi.
I can't remember the word I'm trying to say.
Touche pas.
Dang it.
So your French sucks?
Come here, vamos, but French. Dang it.
Adi suda. That's what it is in Russian. Adi suda.
Why can't I say? Anyways.
Bano. Something else that caught my eye as this WNBA season is about to start is just how many former players are in the coaching ranks. It's really impressive. Obviously, we know about Sandy Brondello, Noelle Quinn, Becky Hammond, Stephanie White. They're head coaches. They've been head coaches for a while now. And I'm not going to name everybody, but there's some newcomers that have been added. And there's literally like 15 to 20 assistant and or player development people former players in the WNBA. LaToya Sanders, I lied, I'm going to name them. LaToya Sanders, Camille Smith, Breon January, Karima Christmas Kelly, Christy Tolliver, Ebony Hoffman, Barbara Turner, Tanisha Wright, Courtney Paris, Sugar Rogers, Danielle Robinson, D-Rob is now in there.
Okay.
Lindsay Whalen, returning to the Lynx. Kristen Mann, Shavante Zealous, and then Jasmine Thomas is in like a front office position with the Wings. I just really love this. I don't know if people know this, but WNBA teams are incentivized to give assistant coaching spots to former players. If they do that, they actually are able to then hire another coach. It extends, I guess, the length of the coaching staff roster, for lack of a better. So for those that don't know, it's great. And you're starting to see it pay off. I think you need the talent that is a player and the experience that a player brings because they're exposed to so many different coaching styles, especially for this generation. Every single one of these players played overseas on multiple teams. So you just have exposure, and they're going to bring that now to the WNBA. So it was just, I don't know, it just hit. And it was something I was really excited to see, but also thankful is happening. I think it's really important. And then it kind of got me thinking, like, I know, we have friends in the NWSL. You definitely have friends who are now in coaching. Do you guys have any rules like that or like incentives to keep players involved? Like, what's that like in the NWSL?
Not like that. It's funny that you say this because there was just Meg Linehan just wrote an article in The Athletic, basically just, kind of belaboring how there's only 2 female head coaches in the NWSL this year, Bev Yannis and the GOAT, Laura Harvey. There's 22 assistant goalkeeper positions out of 67, but this is the lowest percentage in 8 years. And what we have is like a subsidy program or incentive to like go get your coaching license. This is the different thing too. It's the process to get your license. I think if you play at the top level, you have like a C license or something. Maybe I think a C.
Yeah, soccer's weird.
But in order to coach at the highest level, like you need an A and a pro license and like a UEFA license. So
you have to like take tests and courses.
You got to be going 1,000 years to school.
In basketball, they're like, we don't care.
Bring them in. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's just like such a different, it's also like I want the coaches to be prepared and whatever. But so maybe there's like a different incentive. But it kind of what says to me also is the growth of soccer in the leagues, in the NWSL in particular, is growing so much faster than the pipeline is really able to catch up. So, maybe in 5 or 6 years, some of these 22 will be able to become head coaches, or they'll be more comfortable hiring women, maybe taking a risk on women. Maybe that is part of it too. It's like a new and growing league. And so the biases of men are still there.
Oh, yeah. They're there in the WNBA too.
In the hiring process, for sure. Also, a more, this was reported in the article as well, maybe a more top-down approach. Obviously, Michelle King had a huge investment.
We've talked about that.
In U.S. soccer, $30 million invested in U.S. soccer last fall, some of which is earmarked towards coaching education. Also, head coach of the national team, Emma Hayes, has requested a coaching education director dedicated to the women's game as part of her WNT Way overhaul, which says to me that there's one on the men's side and there isn't one on the women's side. That's what I heard out of that, which is fucking insane. That we don't already have that we don't already have a fully formed like structure and pipeline like ready for that, or like that they haven't invested in that soon. So hopefully that will get going. It seems like Emma has a real robust plan and like how she really wants to kind of like overhaul the federation on the women's side and really build it up specifically for women. So it's not here now though. And it is really sad to see out of, all the teams, we only have 2 head coaches, one of which has been since, day one.
Yeah, Laura.
Laura's been here the entire time and we only have one. Is some of that just like the way it's gone? Maybe, but it's not great. And I definitely would want to see more than that. And hopefully that's something that we can put our collective heads to and grow that number year over year.
I can't think of a segue, so we're just going to get into it.
Yeah.
The NWSL season is here. It has started.
Speaking of the NWSL.
Speaking of the thing we're already speaking of.
Yeah.
No, all jokes aside, the NWSL season has started. And that means it is time for Megan's way too early NWSL reactions. Which teams have caught your eye so far?
The team that's really come out is Gotham because they had the tumultuous off-season. I would say they lost a lot of players left. There was a lot of questions like what's going on. They had to like write a letter to the fans being like, everything's okay. This is a lot of change, but everything's fine. But they're kind of flying. Rose isn't even back from injury yet. The notable losses, Yasmin Ryan, Lynn Williams, Abby and Dolo, obviously going to Seattle, Crystal Dunn leaving, but they're flying. Esther cannot stop scoring goals with her head. It actually every time just kind of pisses me off. I'm just like, you're basically as tall as me, maybe even shorter. It pisses me off only because she scored an amazing goal, a banger against us in the final.
And I was just looking up this stat, by the way. So she has scored 7 goals. This was as of 3 days ago. She has scored 7 goals in her last 4 games, equaling the most goals scored in a span of a 4 regular season game appearance in NWSL history. She's the 5th player to do it.
She's crushing. And she has an unbelievable skill and talent on set pieces for headers in the box. And it's just like, she's like so good at it. So shout out to her. So that's the one that's kind of like, caught my eye. Casey and Orlando, same, doing what they're doing. They're great. They both have scoring presence. They both have great midfield. Honestly, they're great all over the place. Both have great coaching. So they're doing well. They both each have 1 loss. Casey took a tough loss. Ashley Sanchez scored in the dying minutes of their game in North Carolina to serve Casey their first loss of the season. Spirit is another one that's catching my eye because while they are getting some players back from injury, Croy Bethune made her season debut. She's back. So happy to see Croy back. Unbelievable midfielder of the year last year. Can't wait to see how she kind of progresses and gets back into things. But without Trinity long term, I'm just like, I don't know. I think they're going to be good, but Trin is special and she has so much gravity. So I feel like going into the season, I was like, okay, Croy's coming back. Obviously I have Ashley Hatch up top and Trin is going to be Trin. But now I'm just like, she's really like kind of the focal point. So yeah, sending all the healing vibes to Trin. I hope her back is okay and she can get that at least to a place that's manageable and where she can continue to play. But that is a little bit worrisome for me.
And so those are your early reactions?
Those are my early reactions. Yeah. That's what's up.
And that's it for the check-in. Next up, we have a big announcement. After months of research, focus groups, and of course, some reading, we are officially ready to kick off a Touch More's book club powered by Athena Books. For those that don't know, Athena Books is my sister Jennifer's bookstore located in Old Greenwich, Connecticut.
Shout out Jen Bird.
I've never met anyone who reads more than her, so I trust every single one of her recommendations. Yeah. It's only right. She has a bookstore that is family run. She does an amazing job, and we're so happy to be doing this with her.
Yeah, and we're setting the bar basically at the top with our guests that we're having on today to help us kick off our book club, but also they are releasing another book, We Can Do Hard Things, Abby Wambach and Glennon Doyle. Abby and Glennon, welcome to A Touch More. Thank you so much for joining us. You're our very first pick of our very first book club. How does it feel to have this great honor bestowed upon you?
I am so excited for many reasons. Well, first of all, congrats on everything, but specifically the new book club. That's very cool. I'm impressed that you all are big readers to be able to actually have a book club. I wouldn't be able to. Glennon would. And this book is just such it's such a gift that we kind of made for ourselves because we keep coming back to this thing when we're going through, when we have literally this morning, we have had a parenting question that has been circling both of our minds. And so we go to this parenting chapter and we're like, parenting, what the fuck? What is going on here? How do I...
That's the name of the chapter.
It was, Megan.
It was.
The whole time we worked on it for 2 years, it was called Parenting What the Fuck and Sex What the Fuck. And then we were like, we can't So we changed it, but that was the working title of both of those chapters.
Yeah. People will read between the lines, I'm sure of it. Yeah. Parents.
It's amazing. So the reason why this is our first book is actually because of my sister. When we first started kind of ideating on what we wanted this book club to be. And yeah, Abby, we do read. Megan's actually going pound town on reading.
Yeah.
You're averaging, I don't even know, like a book and a half a week.
I feel
it's
like
crazy right now.
Like when I stopped playing, I like learned how to read again. I was like, oh, I got to do something with this time. This is wild. So I feel like I knew how to read before, but I'm learning how to like read books, not just articles.
Not just scouting reports?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm a little less, but yeah, the cadence of the book club we're working on, like what's realistic. But again, back to my sister, she was the one. She was like, this needs to be your first book. Like Abby and Glennon have one coming out. Obviously, because she's a bookstore owner, she's on top of all the timings of all the books and all the things. So she was the one that really put this on our map, and we couldn't agree more. This is the first book, the perfect first book. And, Glennon, you've described this book as a guide for life. So what would you like our book club audience to take away from it?
Well, I was rereading Mrs. Dalloway last night, as you do, Virginia Woolf. Okay.
As one does.
You do.
I'm going to put that on my list.
No, you must. You must put that on your list.
This is when I watch Love on the Spectrum, by
Abby
the way.
watches Love Island.
When she's doing it.
Yes.
So
that's the best. Just get out of your head, get into somebody else's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's the same reason for reading Virginia Woolf, actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I think it's like, the reason that Virginia Woolf is such a inspiration for so many of us is that she was kind of the first one who just opened her mind as a woman and let us all see what was spiraling inside, and insisted that it was important enough what a woman's mind does, and the way that a woman sees the world, and substitute woman for anyone who's not already centered and whose perspective we don't hear all the time. And then, she started her own printing press because, as you two know, once you get into this world and start speaking, there's so many gatekeepers that you're like, fuck it, I'll just make my own printing press. She was basically like Virginia's version. Right? The point being,
love that.
The connection is, I think that it matters how people from the margins see the world and what spirals in their minds all day. And when we pull it out and that's what books are for. That's why books are so freaking important. That's why books are the first thing banned in fascist regimes, that when we send our souls to each other in these messages in a bottle, we feel less alone and we become emboldened, and we realize that our personal experience is actually quite a collective political experience, and then we together make change. So I hope that in seeing all of these beautiful minds spiraling in this book around these huge ideas, that people feel more connected and more brave and more alive.
Yeah, I feel like it was so easy to resonate in the book and in the stories. And it's like, because, well, first of all, one of my things is in there. So I was like, oh, I know her. But it's like, yeah, you're having read it, you're like getting these perspectives of people that see the world similarly, or at least see the world in a way that takes you into account. So the full title of the book is We Can Do Hard Things, Answers to Life's 20 Questions. How did you pick the 20 questions?
I mean, look, we've done, and we have 118 wayfinders in this book. Some of our dearest friends, folks that we've talked to on our own podcast, folks that we've talked to in our personal lives. And we have kind of a treasure trove of incredible conversations that in the end, like when we are planning and preparing for these podcasts, we kind of try to spin around and circle around a single question with every guest. And when we've started to do that, we started to realize over the hundreds of episodes that we did, like, actually, we're all really only spiraling around like 20 solid questions, right? Like, and I think like it's so important to get to the root, right? And this book really helps you get down to the deeper question, because so often throughout our lives, and I do it myself, we travel, we walk through our lives and we're only asking the surface level questions. And a lot of us are a little bit fearful of really going deeper. I would put myself in that category. In the last couple of years, I've really gone really deep and tried to figure myself out. And this book just kind of broken up into these chapters. This book is not necessarily meant to be read front to cover or cover to back in one sitting. You can, but it's like, take it bite size, right? Go to a chapter, read the question, think about it, and then read some of these incredible, sage, wise, the wisest people we know. They're the ones that we go to for help. So I don't know, how else would you describe how we got to the questions?
I mean, I just feel like if you open my brain, there'd just be a big question mark there. That's how I feel all day.
Glennon, open the top up.
Just a flashing.
Spilled them out.
And I that's joking, but not actually.
Yeah.
Like I feel stunned, freshly stunned every day by the experience of life. And if I were God, I would make wisdom be something that you can like build. Like you get a brick and you learn it and then you keep it and you build a house. That's not how it is for me. It's like I learn it. It's like fireflies. I learn something and I'm like, and then it's gone. And then the next day I'm Dory from Nemo and I'm like, wait, I feel like I learned something about that. So for me, every day is over and over again, I'm asking the same questions. And it's really nice to have a place outside of yourself that when you're spiraling, you can go, oh yeah, I walked that road before, or she walked that road before. I remember having learned that. I knew that somewhere. It's how it's a philosophical way of looking at life. I feel like a bunch of questions. That I'm just made of questions.
Yeah, I'm also Dory, but on top of that, I will think I've like figured something out and I'll jot it down in my notes and then I'll read it like a week later and I'm like, what? Like it makes no sense. I like don't even understand the words. And I feel like I've just solved everyone's problems, my own. And I'm like, I go back a week later, I have no idea what the hell it means.
I get that. I will open up my phone and it'll be like
so
elephant, pink, purse. And I'm like, I know that was the solution to the universe at one point. Yeah. I'm with you, Sue.
Epiphanies are not meant to be held tightly.
Well, how many of us have been in those conversations with like our best friends or our wisest folks that we know, and they say something in the conversation and you're making a mental note, like, remember this thing, write it down after. We've done it. We have written it all down. There is a place that you can go if you've forgotten to remember. I mean, I opened the book this morning, reading the parent chapter. Like, okay.
We had a little issue.
What am I going to do this morning?
How am I going to handle this? Because so much of parenting is just about self-regulation and about not reacting and just thinking it through. And so I was like reteaching myself this lesson that I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Were there certain voices that just immediately when you decided to write this book, like wayfinders, you guys call them, that you were just like, that's for sure? Were there certain ones that kind of stood out, or you sort of molded more around the questions and then picked out the people that spoke best to them?
I have found that whenever something resonates so deeply with me that I can't forget it, it's usually from a poet. There's a lot of every single poet that we have ever interviewed has like a really important place in the book. I think it's because poets are so deep in the marrow of life that they are always coming up with what is most universal. The first name that came to me when you said that was Cole Arthur Riley. To me, she's just like one of the prophets of the universe. But what about you? Who is somebody that you...
Yeah, well, I think that the process that we kind of came to picking these folks, I mean, first of all, anytime I'm on the, like, one of my kind of embarrassing things that I do on the pod is when somebody says something amazing, I'll just go, that's right. Or, I have like people people respond like Abby and oohing and awing. That's basically what I do on our podcast.
I'm always jealous. I just want to ooh and aw.
Yeah. Glennon carries the whole conversation, and I just get to like listen and ooh and ah. It's a perfect job. It's a perfect job.
It's great. I love that for you.
And so then, you know, we have an amazing team behind us, and I don't want to actually forget, like my sister-in-law, Glennon's sister, Amanda Doyle, also wrote this book with us. And everybody's hard work to kind of cultivate the best conversations and to weed through all of them, the 400 plus episodes that we have done. It was a big lift. And then when we kind of started to figure out like the structure of the questions, it was like we actually had to leave out. So this book is 500 pages long.
She's so excited that it's so long. You guys, the first thing she said when she got it, she opened the book and she goes, Glennon, we wrote a book. Look at it. We wrote a book that's 500 pages long. I was like, I don't think that's like the measure.
I know. I'm just trying to find a place to win and celebrate. And this one, she just doesn't do the celebrating thing. But I'm like, wow, look at this thing. It's so pretty. And look at all the work we've done. And she's like, already on to the next. So to answer your question, we had so much left over that we couldn't include because it was literally 1,000 pages. We had to cut it down to 500 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we were talking about the 20 questions, the first thing I thought was, well, there's definitely another 20. So that means part 2 is going to be on the horizon at some point. But before we get there, can we just add like a quick 21st question and ask you guys for some advice on like how to do this thing?
How do we do it?
You're doing it with your partner. You've got podcasts, you've got businesses, you've got books.
Your sister's in the mix.
Our sister is now in the mix. Just in all seriousness, what advice do you have for us, if any?
We can do hard things. Oh, there's Amanda. Amanda's here.
Well played.
Oh my gosh,
Amanda popped
so
in.
sorry.
No, come on in.
I think it's not a life for everyone. It's extremely difficult if you're doing it right, because I do think that most people go to work and it's hard for different reasons, but it's not hard because every interaction or moment is surfacing relational dynamics or family of origin trauma, or every moment is loaded. But I think that's why when people do it in a careful, intentional way, it can be the most intense, beautiful spiritual path on earth. Because what is the point of life if not to unearth all of the stuff that needs to be healed? And so the bad news is that all day you're unearthing shit that needs to be healed. And the good news is all day you're unearthing shit that needs to be healed. So what I would suggest is keeping a notebook, okay? Because what we have found through trial and error is it's not best to address in the moment every bit that needs to be healed that's coming up. So perhaps a notebook that you are constantly feverishly writing in during meetings that then you take to the therapist and discuss there.
Yeah. I would say,
I mean, one of life's jokes is that you can only do the unearthing through relationship.
Yeah.
Isn't that a kick in the
It's just
shorts?
like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, can't we do this in private? Like in a couple, like a weekend session?
One beautiful path, though.
One of the things I would say is that is a little bit different than your all circumstance is that they came from individual sport world, right? Glennon is an author. She sits at a computer by herself. What she decides to put in this book is her decisions. And then now we're in a team sport environment. And so because I have the experience of coming from team sport, there was a big learning curve, I think, for both of us. And I think one of the most important elements is like me understanding what my strengths are and also my weaknesses. And also Glennon understanding those, and Amanda also understanding those, and being like open and honest with that. Like, I am not going to be the one that sits and like gets the best text out on social media or gets the best thing written. Like, that's clearly going to be Glennon's domain, right? But I also have really strong strengths. Like when we go out and we're doing events, like that's my jam. I can talk on stage. I'm like really outgoing. I can do things. And those are times where Glennon might feel a little bit less comfortable. So it's like knowing what you guys are good at. And then when there are disagreements, which is difficult to separate personal and business, you do really have to separate the personal and business somehow. And
we haven't figured that out though yet, have we?
No, I'm not saying that we are perfect.
We're all ambitious.
We're just all ambitious.
Like, wouldn't want any differently.
No,
like,
I wouldn't do it differently.
Like, this is the right kind of hard to be working through, and also having your own stuff. And I know you both have your own stuff that you do without each other in your own businesses in different worlds. So having that, like when I get to go on stage and do a speaking engagement, I feel so excited that nobody is going to interrupt me on that stage. But it is like all my time. And that's where I get like my ego. Like that's where my ego gets stroked, because that's like all the attention's on me. And so it's like, find those spaces for yourself.
Yeah. Well, how is it going for you guys?
Yeah, no, that's actually
how
great
is it
advice.
for you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, all of that.
Yeah,
all of that. It's like figuring out, what you're good at, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses, like what the other person is good at, and then I think in the beginning, I was like, Sue's a great producer. Behind the scenes, she's in the doc, she's doing it. I'm like, where are the lights and when are they going on? I'm ready to perform, and I'm way more off the cuff. So it's like, okay, my weakness is preparation. So I do need to put a considerable amount of time in the prep, but also like, I'm not going to spend a ton of time trying to like meet Sue 50-50 and like being the producer, because like I'm not that good at it and she's great. So seeding that and not feeling insecure that I'm not like doing enough. So that's just like a little example, but it is like walking into it all the time. Yeah. Sometimes it'll be like, one of us, does something, or I like forget to ask the question. It's like you catch the eye and you're like, fuck.
It's usually my eye.
I messed up.
It's usually my eye. Because the flip side... The flip side of like literally what she said, but the other side is I am a little more prepared. I do have like, the quote unquote script, like in a place where it's going to get us from A to B and it's going to feel good. It's going to work. And when she either misses something or, I don't know, comes in with like impulsivity, it can throw me, or it used to throw me. And we finally recently, after doing this for close to a year, got to a place where it was like, okay, I need to just be the prepared one. And she has to bring, especially in our live shows, like Megan has to bring the impulse, the excitement, the fun, the like throwing it, rocking the boat a little bit. Cause that's where the good stuff is, And then eventually we'll get back on course. And then, so at first though, when she would, let's just say skip a line for lack of a better, I'd be like, immediately my eyes would be like, you skipped a line. I wouldn't say that obviously.
But you would log it.
I was like, we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah.
In the notebook.
Oh, it's in there.
But it is cool. Yeah, we have, separate things that we do, but it also is really amazing to travel together and to like be creative together in this totally different way, and to bring kind of both of our strengths and weaknesses to a space where we feel like there was a really big hole, and we're getting to kind of like figure out how to sort of like fill that ourselves.
I mean, I think my favorite part / least favorite part, we're the same here as we were as athletes. I mean, that shit just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question about that too? Because when you were like, we're so ambitious, and clearly all of you people are, it's absurd levels, but it's like, there's always you're ambitious for something. Like ambition is just like a vessel for, so have you, clearly when you're playing, the ambition is clear. This is the objective. We're supposed to win. We're supposed to get a championship. But does this give you the opportunity to figure out like what you're being ambitious for, or how that you define that differently for yourself? Because Megan, I remember when you were on, you were talking about this whole new world of trying to figure out like what it is to be in your body, what it is to actually feel comfort, even though it was uncomfortable for you because you're used to feeling discomfort. Like, what are you trying to be ambitious toward right now?
So before, when I was saying ambition, I was saying like, we're all just emotionally ambitious, as if to say there's like, we're all trying to get there, knowing we're never going to get there. But it's okay to have that ambition. But to answer your question, I don't think I have figured that out yet. And sports just gives this like template for it all. It's so laid out. It's so easy. It's like you make the shot or you don't. You win the championship or you don't. And it's very black and white in that way. And I think we're now in a world, I'm definitely in a world where I haven't quite figured out like what that is. And then also simultaneously realizing, oh, it just doesn't exist in the same way. And so you just have to be open to that. I don't really know what my actual, I can't really answer your question. I don't know what my actual ambition in this new world is. Do you have an answer?
No, it's really strange because it's like, yeah, what are you going for? Like, are you going for like the biggest podcast deal? I mean, part of it, yeah. It's like, our Vox people are shaking their heads in the back. No, it's like, is that success? Is it like, do I like it? Do I like coming here every day or every, once a week? And do I like doing this? Like, what makes me even good? I mean, it had been so long since I had actively been like trying at something that I was bad at when we first started. I was like, well, this is terrible. I hate it. And I was like, do I hate it or am I bad at it? Or do I just feel bad at it? And I don't even know what makes me good at it. Like what are even the metrics? Like how, so I feel like we're like getting a better flow and sense now. I mean, I think ultimately I want to be enjoying what I'm doing. That's my ambition in it. I want to feel like we're having an impact and like talking about things that matter and that like we care about and that we feel like other people care about. And then, I think there's like a competitive ego side that's like, I want to be one of the best. And there's, subscriber numbers and listeners and contracts and all the things that sort of like goes into that. But it's very strange. Being retired is so hard and so weird.
But that's a good setup. Abby, you guys, you just spoke about speaking, when you go out on tours. You guys are going to be doing a book tour. Do you get any kind of the same feelings, jitters, nerves, anxiousness?
The juice.
Yeah, from when you played to now? Like, what do you find in that live performance that feels similar to when you're an athlete?
Yes, to all of that. Like, I am so excited to go on the road for a few reasons. One, I've been in charge of the tour for our little business and companies, so I'm hoping that it all goes smoothly. But I'm like really excited because it's not, you can't curate a live event. Like you can't make it in your living room. And if you have children or you're thinking about having children, like they don't give a shit about you. They don't.
Truer words were never spoken.
They just like don't care about what you do or how good you are or what you did or how good you were when you did it. And so I think my ego is in for a little juicing. I think that like I want to feel like outside of my home, because we work in our house, I want to feel like people like me. They want to hear what I have to say. When you're parenting teenagers, you say very little because you don't want to interrupt them and you want them to kind of guide the conversation. So like, I'm basically silent like all day.
That is so untrue.
Megan knows this.
It's her experience. It's probably in relation or the ratio to what you normally talk.
She's talking 50% of the time, but it's only 1% of how much she wants to talk.
Because Megan knows this. I can go when I want to, when I'm given the space to.
You can.
But with kids, it's different. So I literally hold my lips shut. So I'm excited about the fucking tour. And this is the first time Amanda's going to be on the stage, like in the front on tour in a live event. And to be able to do that with my people, like these two are my people. They're the ones that I do my life with. And who knows what the hell is going to happen because it's live. Like, it's like a game. Like, you don't know how it's going to turn out. It could be terrible or it could be incredible. And that not knowing excites me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glennon, what about you? How do you feel about just touring in general, live shows, performance, all of it in public?
Okay. A little bit different than Abby.
I had a hunch.
Yeah.
Well, performance. Let me tell you guys something that I just did. Okay. So we go to Brandy's Girls Just Wanna. Okay.
Oh.
Every year. Tish was performing this year. We all went. I decided I've been working on embodiment. Okay. Whatever the hell that means.
We're going to put the definition in the show notes. It's fine.
It's something about not reading as much and being present with humans. Okay. I like humans. I like humanity, not individual humans. Okay. I like humanity as an idea, not a reality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I will die for you, but not meet you for coffee. Okay. This sort of thing. Now, I decided that I was going to practice embodiment by performing If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher in front of 7,000 people in fishnets and a G-string. And I was going to sing the entire song.
Ooh, G-string.
Now, I don't sing and I'm not a singer. And I also wasn't going to do it as a joke. I was going to do it seriously. Like, I am seriously trying this.
Yeah, like, I'm doing this. Wow.
You went full Cher.
You guys. I did.
You did it.
How
was it?
Well,
amazing.
It was either the best thing I've ever done or it was humiliating. I can't, no. It doesn't matter.
It has to live on that line.
It was incredible.
That means you nailed it.
She bought me the sailor outfit, first of all, because in the video.
No, you guys went full Cher. Yeah.
We did it.
Full Cher.
And I got on stage and there was no point of me being on stage. Brandi Carlile is on stage singing backup and Glennon keeps stepping her fishnet ass in front of Brandi.
I was like, why is Brandi interrupting me? Do I not look like I have this handled?
You guys.
I got it.
She looked phenomenal and had a little bit of an insecurity hangover, vulnerability hangover that night, but then got to the airport the next morning and all of the fans that were at Girls Just Want a Weekend were coming up to Glennon like just astonished and amazed.
It was astonishing.
Impressed.
So I feel like if I can do, the point is, I feel like if I can do that, I can pull this one off. And it feels as if it's an important time for it. I concede that it is an important time to all gather together to tell the truth about how we feel and about what's going on in this country. We're doing the tour hand in hand with some incredible groups who are really dealing beautifully with the immigration nightmare and how a lot of these little ones are being treated right now in our systems and being deported without due process. So we're doing it with them. Every penny of profit from the tour is going to these groups, which to me always feels, I started to feel excited about the tour when we did that piece, because it feels like a time where we should be comforting each other, but at the exact same time, we should be challenging each other to show up and speak up. And it feels scary and correct to me right now to be doing this.
Absolutely.
Well, I think there's something so special about, and I'll let you
Ty. Just didn't see the eye.
Tie us
she
up
just
here.
Did it. And I just went.
I'll let you tie us up here in a second. But there is something, we found this with our live shows, that in an ever increasing like disconnected world, we're on our phones more and social media, we're getting pulled apart, like real genuine connections. Why people love sports, because you're seeing some real shit out there. Real genuine connection is really what people thrive on. And you three just have like obviously the best vibe. And so I'm so excited for all the people that are going to watch you because they're just going to get this like dose of what is like good in the world and also like what people literally live and thrive on, which is connection. So I'm just like so happy and so excited for you guys and so excited for everyone that's going to watch you. Okay, Sue, go ahead.
I'm so glad you added that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well done.
She usually gives me the eyes and then I come in with a banger. She's like, okay.
Fuck, that was funny. Abby, Glennon, thank you so much. Everyone, we are going to have a very special bonus episode, deep diving. We can do hard things. Answers to life's 20 questions. Amanda Doyle will be joining that convo, even though she kind of sort of just joined it already, which we loved. We will release that episode on May 6th, the same day that We Can Do Hard Things hits the bookshelves. Thank you guys again. This was amazing.
Bye, you guys.
The A Touch More Book Club, powered by Athena Books, is officially underway. You can pre-order your copy of We Can Do Hard Things from Athena Books by clicking the link in our show notes.
And if you join the A Touch More Book Club, powered by Athena Books, which we know you will, send us a voicemail as you read along. You might get featured on an episode of A Touch More, so bring your best and bring your funnies. Just give us a call at 1-833-A-TOUCH-8. 1-833-A-TOUCH-8.
As we said, we're back with our segments, and we're back with another Are You a Megan or Are You a Sue? We have a fresh edition for you today. It is in the world of breaking down boxes. So as we said, we've been traveling for a while. So when we came home, some of us were ordering. What were you ordering, by the way?
Stuff.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we came home to a lot of boxes, but this is something that is not new. This is something that has been pretty much happening in the entirety of our relationship.
Yeah.
When Megan receives boxes, she rips into them immediately. It could be
I couldn't get in there
10 in the morning. It could be 10 at night. It doesn't matter.
We could get back.
So it's Christmas.
Oh. We could get back from like traveling for 4 days straight on planes, trains, and automobiles at midnight, and I will open my boxes.
She will be opening the boxes.
Yeah.
So she tears in. I do want to keep that. You open in a very polite way.
No,
you're not actually tearing. But she's ripping into these things. She's so excited. And then she leaves the box in the hallway or by the door, depending on what apartment we're in.
Correct. Correct.
For days. And days turn into weeks.
Yeah.
And weeks have turned into months.
They have.
There is stuff by our Seattle door that is just still sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
She doesn't.
I'm not doing it always like immediately, but like within the first 24 hours.
You get rid of them.
I'm breaking them down and they're out. The funny thing to me is you break them down and then leave them.
Yeah, there's one right now.
Oh, I know. I took it out.
You did?
I couldn't look at it anymore.
Thank you.
I
know,
not
honestly,
look at it
you
anymore.
guys, I just have the world's strongest avoidance. I do.
Yeah, what happens?
I just
And then
don't
I feel
know.
like when I ask you, then, you're leaving it because I asked you. Is that happening?
No, not at all. I'm not ready to like, sometimes I leave the stuff in there because I'm not ready. It's like I have to rearrange my closet.
I'm not talking about that.
Or I need to like return it.
I'm not talking about that either.
Or I'm just like, I don't want to do it right now.
Those are reasonable reasons.
I let it go until I stop seeing it.
You got something 3 to 4 days ago. You broke the box down and it sat in the hallway. Why?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to bring.
We should have asked
to therapy.
We should have asked Glennon and Abby and Amanda.
They
would have been able to figure this one out for us.
I just get like total inertia and like avoidance, and I'm just like, it happens with my emails too. I'll be like, oh, I can't. I get so overwhelmed, and so I avoid it. And then I get in there, and it takes 37 seconds to like delete the 4 emails, and then I'm like, why have you been dragging this the whole time? Yeah, I don't know.
So anyways, there you have it. Are you a Megan? Do you leave the boxes? Are you a Sue? Do you break them down and throw them out? Let us know what you think.
Just give us a call at 1-833-A-TOUCH-8. 1-833-A-TOUCH-8.
Or leave us a comment on YouTube. We didn't even get into the fact that the garbage room is literally diagonal to our door.
I'm talking 72 inches away.
I was just going to say 4.5 steps max.
Maximum.
Max.
Max.
Let us know. All right. That takes us to a touch more. We're going to be leaving you with 2 nuggets. First up, did Paige Beckers need boob tape at the draft? Let's take a look. Let's count. That's 3, 4,
5. There's a little one.
5. She's ambidextrous with it.
Paige getting big
6.
hugs from mom and dad, from her teammate AZ Fudd, from her coach Gino Auriemma.
7.
And Paige Becker's teammates all here taking it in. She is officially the #1 pick of the 2025 WNBA draft.
Yeah. We counted 8.
Minimum.
I don't even know. 8 protective. She almost had a boob slip. So
yeah,
I think that's
that was
why.
a little inside boob there. As someone who has had a boob slip because I didn't have boob tape on national television at the ESPYs, I know a non-tape loose boob when I see one.
Well, she wasn't pledging allegiance, so I feel like it has to be.
I don't know what was going on there.
I did catch one interview with somebody who was like, "Oh, Paige just can't stop holding her hand over her heart."
No,
as if it was from gratitude.
Yeah.
No. Just thankful that boob didn't fall out. That's about the only gratitude.
That was funny.
No, so we really want to talk about the draft fashion that we saw. The WNBA draft a couple weeks ago. We had some epic outfits. I loved Paige's first and second outfits. I thought Sonia Citron looked amazing. But we're seeing, Megan, what I want to ask you is we're seeing a lot of like high fashion get into the WNBA draft. You have Russell Westbrook, who dressed Georgia Amore. Last year, Caitlin was dressed by Prada. Coach has a partnership with the WNBA, so all the players this year were kind of outfitted to some degree. So what do you think about designers getting into this space?
Well, I think it's great. I actually thought Paige's first outfit was her best outfit. I wish she would have kept that on the whole time. I really loved that. That was a cool little collab between Russ and Georgia. Obviously, Russ, total one of one, so unique. So for him to be able to, he has his brand, Honor the Gift. So for him to be able to like spread his wings into something else is really cool.
I thought it was smart.
Really smart. I would love to see that be Tiv Hayes next year. Other women in the W have their own brands as well, and I think that would be really cool.
Great idea.
To just kind of like keep it in-house and support our own. So that was dope. I thought the coach partnership was really cool.
Yeah, I thought they executed it really well.
Yeah, I think it's really
a value
cool.
add for sure.
To me, it just says like it's just growing so much. Obviously, these brands have been in men's sports and with male professional athletes for a while, even as like, ambassadors. LeBron's obviously an ambassador of Louis Vuitton. But I think this is like such a great sign. Women have been crossing over into the fashion space in sports for so long, and I feel like they're doing so at a very high level now. So this is just cool. It's just like an overall indicator of the continued growth of the sport and something that I personally love to see.
I know you do.
I do.
Okay, so before we let you go, last but not least for a touch more, Gabby Thomas won the first Grand Slam track meet.
Friend of the pod.
Yep, event. We had Gabby, we had Nikki come on at South by Southwest, and they gave us the lowdown on the Grand Slam track meet. So like I said, Gabby, congrats to you. She won the first one. That one was in Kingston. She ran a personal best in the 400 and then won the 200-meter race. So she took home the money. She took home the win in the long sprints group. I did learn that within each group, you run 2 events, and then it's like a total of points of those 2 events.
Oh, I like that.
Nikki Hiltz did great as well. They finished second in short distance, so also took home a little bit of money. There are 3 meets left. Miami, May 2nd to 4th. Philly, May 30th to June 1st. And then LA, June 27th to 29th. They're all live on Peacock. So, Gabby, congratulations. Can't wait to see you do that Dougie. She's been working on it.
Teach me how to Dougie. She's pretty good at it. Certainly gotten better.
That sounds like you know how.
I mean, listen, I've Dougied a time or 2 in my day. I'm not going to do it over here.
And that's it for our episode, folks. We'll see you next week.